Marcus Rashford's furious response after Tory MPs reject free school meals plan. The Manchester United star responded after MPs voted down Labour's motion to extend free school meals over the holidays, with Tories sparking outrage as UK politics reaches a low point. Manchester United star and poverty campaigner Marcus Rashford MBE has said children will be going to bed tonight thinking they do not matter after shameful Tory MPs voted down his bid to extend free school meals over the holidays. MPs voted on the issue tonight after the Labour motion was debated in the Commons this afternoon. It called for the scheme to be extended over school holidays until Easter 2021, to help feed more than 1.4 million hungry children in vulnerable families in the UK. In shameful scenes, Tories voted down the motion, which was defeated by 322 votes to 261, leading Child Poverty Action Group to say we've reached a low point with the government ducking its moral responsibility. England's starlet Rashford slammed the situation, lamenting that this is not politics, this is humanity, headlining his tweet with the words "Time we work together." The player urged politicians to unite to protect the most vulnerable children and vowed to continue campaigning, writing on Twitter, "For as long as they don't have a voice, they will have mine." Marcus said on Twitter in response, "Put aside all the noise, the digs, the party politics, and let's focus on the reality. A significant number of children are going to bed tonight not only hungry but feeling like they do not matter because of comments that have been made today. We must stop stigmatizing, judging, and pointing fingers. Our views are being clouded by political affiliation. This is not politics, this is humanity." Rashford added that child food poverty has the potential to become the greatest pandemic the country has ever faced. "We talk about the devastating impact of COVID-19, but, if projections are anything to go by, child food poverty has the potential to become the greatest pandemic the country has ever faced," he wrote. "We must start working together and unite to protect our most vulnerable children. No more sticking plasters. Let's face this head on. Let's level up once and for all." The asks of the Child Food Poverty Task Force remain the same. "We are endorsing government-commissioned policy recommendations that were built from extensive research and data analysis. These policies are vital to stabilizing millions of households across the UK and need to be implemented without delay. Child hunger should never be faced with looming deadlines. We need a long-term sustainable framework, and thanks to the 300,000 plus signatures, we will now be offered the opportunity to discuss this." The striker again extended an olive branch to Downing Street, inviting them to sit around the table with his task force. "Following private and public approaches, I once again invite number 10 to sit around the table with the task force so that, together, we can collaborate on how best to combat child food poverty in the UK," he added. Downing Street had been resisting pressure to back the football star's bid. But a number 10 spokesperson previously said, while schools continue to play an integral role in the community, it's not for them to regularly provide food during school holidays. Downing Street had come under mounting pressure to perform a U-turn, and there was outrage after some Tory MPs weighed in on the issue. Rashford appeared to refer to this in his statement tonight. He continued, "We are here to help, but we require guidance and insight from those in number 10. I don't have the education of a politician, many on Twitter have made that clear today, but I have a social education, having lived through his and having spent time with the families and children most affected." The athlete gave his word to give British children that he would be using his platform to speak up for them for as long as they don't have a voice. He added, "These children matter. These children are the future of this country. They are not just another statistic. And for as long as they don't have a voice, they will have mine. You have my word on that." Reacting to the vote, Shadow Education Secretary Kate Green said, "Boris Johnson and the Conservatives have badly let down more than 1 million children and their families. No child should go hungry over the holidays, but the government is blocking the action needed to prevent this. We pay tribute to Marcus Rashford and others for shining a spotlight on this incredibly important issue." This campaign is not over and the government must reconsider. Several Tory MPs weighed in on the issue ahead of the vote today. Conservative MP Ben Bradley wrote on Twitter, "Gov has lots of responsibilities, supporting the vulnerable, helping people to help themselves, balancing the books. Not as simple as you to make out, Marcus. Extending FSM to SCH halls passes responsibility for feeding kids away from parents, to the state. It increases dependency." In response, Marcus tweeted, "Ben, the economy already pays a high price for child hunger. If children were fed properly, you would increase educational attainment and boost life chances." At Kellogg-Suki calculated we would spend at least £5.2 million a year on lost teaching hours as teachers are caring for hungry kids. And for a more humane response, since March, 32% of families have suffered a drop in income. Nearly 1 million have fallen off the payroll. This is not dependency, this a cry for help. There are no jobs. 250% increase in food poverty and rising. Nobody said this was simple. After tonight's vote, Chief Executive of Child Poverty Action Group Alison Garnham said, "We've reached a low point if in the midst of a pandemic we decide we can't make sure children in the lowest income families have a nutritious meal in the middle of the day. Tonight's vote means more children going without and more desperately anxious parents, just as a coronavirus winter approaches. In short, it ducks our moral responsibility to protect the country's most vulnerable children. It will not sit well with all those people from many walks of life who back Marcus Rashford because they do not want child poverty to be ignored any longer." Tone-deaf Tory Minister Paul Scully told the BBC that children have been going hungry under a Labour government for years and insisted the government had been tackling the issue. Shadow Education Secretary Kate Green said he should apologise for the disgraceful remarks which were a slap in the face for struggling families. She added, "Rising child poverty